folks, Nick here checking in. And there are a lot of zombie games on the market. You can barely throw a stone without hitting 2 or 3 zombie games on Kickstarter. And if you don't hit them in the head, then they won't die. And if they bite you, you turn into a zombie game as well. But I didn't even think I liked zombie games that much. 3 or 4 of them have managed to weasel their way into my collection. Some good, some bad. And this is the latest. This is Card of the Dead from AEG. And it's part of their unofficial line of micro card games. Games that have very few cards or components of any kind that are designed to be light and played very quickly. And, well, is this going to fall into the category of bad zombie games or good zombie games or just another zombie game? Well, let's take a very brief look at it because it's a very brief game, and then I'll let you know what I think. Gameplay in Card of the Dead is very simple. The basic mechanic of the entire game is on your turn you draw a card and play a card. Now, there are 3 types of cards in the game. First, there are zombies. If you draw a zombie during the course of the game on your turn, you must immediately place it down in front of you on the table. So that's a single zombie. Then you have zombies, which count as 2 and are immune to certain cards that don't affect 2 zombies. Then there's zombies, the worst one, which counts as 3 zombies and is immune to even more cards that affect zombies. And the reason why it's bad for zombies to put in front of you is because if you collect too many zombies, you won't be able to claim movement points, which are basically the victory points for the game. And also, if you collect even more than that, there's a possibility you're going to get eaten. And if you're eaten in a round, you won't score any points in that round. So that's bad. You do not want zombies. But there is a way to destroy zombies, and that's through action cards. So there are several different types of action cards, and you see that they always have yellow text, and they always have a footprint up in the top corner with a number 1 or 2. During the game, if you choose to play an action card, you have to either choose to play it for its ability at the bottom or as a movement point. So for instance, for the chainsaw, if you choose to use it for its action, you will discard 2 zombie cards from in front of you, or 1 zombie card that is the double zombie card. And then you will immediately put this card into the discard, never look at it again. But if you choose to play it as a movement point, you're instead going to put it face down in front of you, and it will stay there, counting as its 1 movement point. Then there's cards like the Slugger, which are basically the same thing, but this one actually allows you to discard a zombie or take a card from another player's hand. Also counts as 1 movement point. Now here's the Dynamite, which counts as 2 movement points, and it lets you discard up to 3 zombies, including 1 triple zombie card if you want, but you also have to get rid of one of your movement cards that's in play. Now in the beginning of the game, before you actually start playing, every player is going to get dealt 10 cards, and you must choose 3 of those action cards for your opening hand and discard the rest, and they get added back to the deck. But you can only choose up to 3 action cards that have 1 action point or 1 movement point up in the top corner. You can't choose anything that has 2. So there's one other type of card that can throw a monkey wrench in all of your plans, and those are the event cards. When you draw an event card from the deck during the course of the game, you have to immediately do what the event says at the bottom and then discard it, and then continue with the rest of your turn. So, the ringtone says, take 1 zombie card from every other player. That's really bad. Then you have the cornered card, which says, discard all of your movement cards. That's really bad. And then there's the fog card, which says that everyone takes all of their zombies back into hand, then takes a card from their neighbor to the right in turn order, then does that all over again, then places your zombies back down on the table. So that's really, really, really bad and annoying. But your main goal in this game is to escape. So when you reach a certain threshold of movement points, so for instance either 5, 6, or 7 depending on the number of players, you're going to be the first to escape, and everyone who's still alive gets to score their movement points as victory points. And you'll do this over the course of 3 rounds. Whoever has the most points is the winner. But it's very possible that if you have too many zombies in front of you, you are not going to be able to play movement cards anymore until you get rid of zombies, and therefore your amount of points that you have is going to be limited. And if you collect too many zombies in front of you, you're going to get eaten. And if you're eaten, you do not score any points at the end of the round. You're basically sitting around waiting for the other players to finish collecting enough movement points, or all get eaten themselves. And that's basically Card of the Dead. Well, I can tell you for sure that not only does Card of the Dead fall into the category of bad zombie games, but it's a bad game, period. Now, I don't mind light games. I have a lot of light games. There are people in my gaming group who will not play anything that takes longer than an hour, hour and a half to play. So I need a lot of games like that in my collection, and I enjoy them too. And so I have games like Love Letter, that's also from AEG, which is a phenomenal game of bluffing and deduction, and some luck, of course. And the other game that I've gotten from AEG recently, Agent Hunters, is a pretty solid two-player game. I've got games like King Tokyo and Shadow Hunters that are all very light, very luck-based, and you're not supposed to take them too seriously. Card of the Dead is funny in a completely unintentional way. It is funny to see just how badly the other players and you yourself get totally screwed by the cards that you draw. And maybe that's the point of the game, but it certainly doesn't feel fun at all. In fact, I really dislike Flux enough that I probably won't even bother doing a review of it at any point in the near future. But I would actually say that Flux is slightly better than this game, because at least in Flux there is something going on all the time. You have these constantly changing rules, and it can be kind of fun and wacky to see how it turns out. The multiple games of Card of the Dead that I played were all pretty much the same, in the sense that they were all hilariously bad. There's not enough cards here for there to even be a variety that might help the game along and make it more interesting. The only card that was even mildly interesting was the Fog card, which, while being interesting, was also horrendously tedious and stupid card, making people pass cards to their right twice after picking up all their zombies. It completely negates any even semblance of strategy. The only strategy in this game is, do I play this as a point, or do I play this to for the action, to kill some zombies or to screw over another player? That's it. And even if you go with that kind of strategic thinking, anything you do can be wiped out in the next turn by a card like Fog. None of the people that I played with enjoyed this on any level other than, oh my gosh, can this really be this bad? And then laughing about it. So I can't possibly recommend this game. I will say one thing positive about it, and that is that the art is awesome. I really wish that they would take this art and put it on a better game, or just, I hope they do something with this artist that's better than this, because that artist deserves a better game than this. Even for the price, which was really cheap, I can't recommend it. That's Card of the Dead from AEG, and my name is Nick. Thanks for watching. Get out there and game every day and in every way, just not with this game.